Mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Nàìjíríà káàkiri ayé pé happy independence ṣùgbọ́n ẹ jẹ́ n bi wá léèrè òmìnira ni àbómi ìnira ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ dára wa lóhùn ìyẹn tí ẹ̀kọ́ ni mo bá wá ohun tí mo bá wá ẹ rí pé mi ò ní kàn fi sẹ́rímọ́nì wọlé rárá bẹ́ẹ̀ ni torí pé a need láti mọ òdodo tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí ní Nàìjíríà wọ́n ti pe àwọn ọ̀gá ẹlẹ́wọ̀n sí Àbújá ní House of Reps wọ́n dẹ̀ ti set committee bákan náà ni pé ọ̀gá correctional center pátápátá látàbújá táwọn sí controller general Jafaru òun náà ti sọ̀rọ̀ Zikrullah Adékúnlé tó wà ní ìcháàjì maximum prison òun náà sọ̀rọ̀ ẹni tó wà ní ìcháàjì medium òun náà sọ̀rọ̀ lánàá tẹ́ bá gbàgbé fídíò tí mo ṣe mo sọ nípa corruption tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́ ní Nàìjíríà lára corruption yẹn náà ò ní nǹkan tí a witness oúnjẹ ni mo fẹ́ kí gbogbo wa mọ gbogbo lọ̀rọ̀ dé dúró mi ìfẹ́ gbà wá lásìkò mo fẹ́ ká darapọ̀ mọ́ wọn l'Àbújá ni bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo fẹ́ ká lọ wo kí ni báwo ni wọ́n ṣe sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn sí kí làwọn ọ̀gá prison sọ ọ̀gá correctional center kí ni wọ́n sọ ṣé lóòótọ́ ni wọ́n fi Bobrisky sí ìta ni wọ́n rẹ̀ ti lé fún níta ṣé lóòótọ́ ni wọ́n ti mọ́ gbẹ̀wọ̀n gbogbo ẹ̀ la máa gbọ́ ẹni tí wọ́n torí ẹ̀pẹ́ nìyẹ tó jẹ́ very dark man tó blow whistle wọ́n pe òun náà ọ̀rọ̀ tóun náà sọ a máa tún gbọ́ ní part 2 ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ṣùgbọ́n táwọn ọ̀gá aṣọ́bodè aṣọ́gbà ẹ̀wọ̀n táwọn sí correctional officers ẹ̀rí táwọn mú wá nílé ẹjọ́ gbogbo wọn ni wọ́n sọ pé dandan sẹ́ẹ̀ aláwọn ti Bobrisky mọ́lé àlóṣẹ̀wọ̀n lánàá nínú presentation mi ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ sọ fún mi pé bàbá gbàgede ìgbà tẹ́yìn wà ń bẹ̀ lẹ́mọ̀ nǹkan ti yàtọ̀ èmi tún sọ pé kò sí bí nǹkan ṣe lè yàtọ̀ tó sẹ́ àfi tí Bobrisky ò bá mú wárántì wá àfi tí ò bá ṣe pé wárántì ló mú Bobrisky dọ́gbà ẹ̀wọ̀n ẹni bá ti ní wárántì kò lè kó lọ́gbà ẹ̀wọ̀n yẹn àfi tí tó dẹ̀ ti convicted àfi tí déètì tán kọ sínú wárántì yẹn bá pé kò sí bí conspiracy theory ṣe lè wà tó ẹni máa ṣí géètì gbọ́dọ̀ mọ̀ kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ gbogbo ọ̀gá ẹlẹ́wọ̀n pa gbogbo prison officers pátápátá kọ́ náà jọ máa cooperate papọ̀ tá a bá rẹ̀ ń tó dákẹ́ nítorí pé wọ́n jẹ́ superior ọ̀hún ààrẹ tí ó padà sọ síta wípé àní Bobrisky wọ́n mú wọlé ọ̀dẹ̀ tó ti mú jáde àwọn ibi tó ń mú gbà àṣírí àti tú tipẹ́tipẹ́tipẹ́ kó tó lóṣù mẹ́fà ẹ̀ pé ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ d'Àbújá káwo báwo lọ́hún ṣe rí ohun táwọn ọ̀gá ẹlẹ́wọ̀n yẹn sọ sorry àwọn correctional officers wọ́n ṣe ń pè wá gbà yẹn nìyẹn ó ti mímì lẹ́nu kódà wa náà máa pera wa pé ọ̀gá ẹlẹ́wọ̀n àwa lọ̀gá yín a máa sọ fẹ́ lẹ́wọ̀n bẹ́ẹ̀ pé àwa lọ̀gá yín so ohun tí wọ́n sọ lọ́hùn tó ní kálukú fi defender rẹ̀ bó ṣe ríre ẹ̀jẹ̀ àwò lẹ́yìn yẹn lẹ́nìí náà kílẹ̀ tó ṣú ẹ máa wo ti very dark man tí FCC láti rí lọ́ọ̀yà Bobrisky ó lára Bobrisky òyà kò lè wá sí Àbújá gbọ́ gbogbo yẹn náà lápá kejì ètò yìí ó yẹ máa bá wa ká lọ.
Come in, please. I, you mention your name.
I, Michael Benson Anugwa, Deputy Controller of Corrections.
Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that the evidence I shall give to this committee
that the evidence I shall give before the committee
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God. Distinguished Controller General of Corrections, Chairman EFCC, very senior colleagues, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good evening. My name is Michael Benson Anugwa, Deputy Controller of Corrections and the officer in charge, Medium Security Custodial Facility in Kirikiri, Lagos. I stand here to defend that Idris Okuneye Olarewaju was interred into the Nigerian Correctional Facility Medium Security Custodial Center in Lagos on the 12th of April with a valid warrant and a transfer order from Ikoyi Medium Security Custodial Facility. The warrant The warrant was endorsed to me by the Deputy Controller of Corrections in charge Ikoyi facility on the same day of his conviction. This is the warrant, and I believe strongly is attached to the documents that we have submitted to the committee. The biometrics of Idris Okuneye Olarewaju was taken the next day because the time he came was around 10:30 p.m. So we could not do the biometrics on that day. So we did the biometrics on the 13th of Hello, sorry. On the 13th of April 2024, I want to get the biometric picture, please.
You don't need to. You have submitted the document.
It's there already. I don't know where it is. Where is that?
You should just go ahead.
Give me the biometrics. This is the biometrics picture of capturing of Idris Okuneye Olarewaju on admission on the 13th of April 2024 at Medium Security Custodial Center in Lagos. During the time that he spent at Medium, because Idris spent 10 days at Medium facility in Lagos. 10 days. He spent 10 days, 12th to 22nd. Idris Okuneye Olarewaju, refusing to eat prisons or corrections ration, decided to apply for self-feeding. Self-feeding is approved in our laws. And this is the photocopy of the approval application for self-feeding where he nominated. I'll get the original for you. The original is also here. So the application for self-feeding was approved. This is no, it's not this one. And he Idris Okuneye, and nominated 2 persons that will bring in his food to the facility within the period he was there. The persons he nominated were Okuneye Abiola, and Moji Okuneye. Okuneye Abiola and Moji Okuneye. Then his health screening was done. During the admission, we discovered that Idris had a peculiar features that can not allow us to put him in a general apartment. No, I have to.
What are the peculiar features?
Pictures, please.
Idris Okuneye Olarewaju, though male, had some female features like a breast. He has a breast. Yes. This is the original of the medical examination done by the facility's medical practitioner, a qualified doctor, Dr. Ifeoma Opaloba. In this, the admission board had to enter into a meeting to discuss on the best practices and the best way to manage him. Then we arrived at the conclusion that we have to put him in a protective custody, which we did. And he spent his time at Medium, the 10 days, in our P ward room 2. P ward room 2 of the facility. And alone in that particular room. Why we did that is that because we have to abide by the international best practices and according to our laws. If you look at the Correction Act, Chapter 2A, 21A, you find out that we have to abide by the international human rights as approved by United Nations. And because of the United Nations Act, that's Chapter 21A of the Corrections Act, and also Chapter 13 of the Corrections Act, 1A, I to V. 1A, I to V. Is section, sorry. Section 13, 1A, I to V, where we have to look at certain features of an inmate before we use a particular management style. Corrections management is not done on social media. It's not done on the pages of the newspaper. It is a professional job done by well-trained officers for corrections management. And everybody, notwithstanding that our laws maybe have not actually recognized the issue of someone being a transgender, but we have to protect him. His rights are sacrosanct. His rights is important for us to protect. And that is why we don't have to, if we throw him into a general cell, before the next morning they'll bring out a dead body. Because there are a lot of people there who are convicted and are standing trial for rape and even sodomy. So we cannot allow that. If we had allowed that to happen, the same public that are clapping for VDM and Bobrisky today will begin to cast aspersions on the Nigerian Correctional Service for not managing Bobrisky well. The paper I was using for. Okay, let me use it. Just leave it, since I can see it. Now, during the time that Bob spent at the Nigerian Correctional Facility, Medium Security Custodial, don't worry, Medium Security Custodial Center, Kirikiri, Lagos, Idris Okuneye Olarewaju had a total of 39 visitors. 39 visitors. I have the record here. And the visit form that we designed, that we use, the visit form has position for the name of the visitor, the visit date, the visitor's address, visitor's phone number, visitor's occupation, the name of the inmate that that is to receive the visit, a relationship with the visitor, and the inmate's consent. Before you see an inmate, the inmate will have to consent that he or she wants to see you. So after filling the form, on 13th April 2024, Idris Okuneye Olarewaju had 5 6 visitors. Abiodun Okuneye, Kayode Okuneye, Adebolo Okuneye, Abiola Okuneye, Bukola Okuneye, and Mrs. Moji Okuneye. These are the 6 that visited on the 13th. On the 14th, he had one visitor, the legal counsel, Barrister Nike Gonkels. All these people, their addresses and phone numbers are here for verification.
Please, spare us of those things.
Okay. So, and the visitors that came, all their biometrics are here tendered. I think we have tendered it to the chairman or to the body. So, on the whole, he had 39 visitors that visited him till that was 13th to 21st. Those who came to visit. Yeah. Then on the 21st, I, Michael Benson, and the Deputy Controller of Corrections, took permission from my command controller to travel to our Corrections Academy at Ijebibo to write my command course exam, which was to come up the next day, 22nd. So, and the Idris visits, I handled it personally. So on the 22nd, I was not available in the facility. I went to Ijebibo. When my controller put a call across and told me that he is moving him to maximum on security, for security reasons. He's not supposed to tell me. He's a command controller. But he gave me that respect and called me to tell me that look at. I said, no problem, sir. Go ahead. And he was moved to maximum on the 22nd of April 2022. So the account I gave is what happened at medium between 12th and the 21st of April 2022. Thank you, sir. Medium security. Mostly the people we keep at medium security custodial center are mostly minor offenders and first offenders as well. So it's sometimes that we have, because of overflow of the big custodial centers that manage big offenders, that they bring some of those big offenders to medium to give space in the.
Was there an overflow? Because I want to know the reason why you should take somebody who just committed an offense of abuse of Naira to maximum security, where you keep people who committed maximum capital offenses. Because I want to know, because it's at this point that we need to trace this allegation of the fact that he was kept outside the prison environment. Because I want to know why he was moved from the medium to the maximum. What is the reason?
Okay, sir. There was social media hype because Idris' friends and some family members donated chairs, 21 plastic chairs, to the visit area environment that doesn't have, they have inconvenient chairs. Chairs were not enough. So when they come to visit sometimes, when they come to visit us now, they discover that there is lack of chairs. So they went and donated chairs and wrote the name of Idris Okuneye Olarewaju as the donor. Then the next minute it went viral on social media, sensing that this may cause security breach. The controller took action.
Who moved him? Who moved him?
I was not present, but let me say that. I was not present, but let me tell you.
Excuse me, are you trying to say that up till now, even when you came back, you don't know who moved him?
No, I said my command controller
Order, please. Order.
They should, people need to understand our hierarchy. We have a hierarchy.
Yeah.
We have a controller general.
That's what I'm saying. Who moved him?
The state command controller is in charge of the whole of Lagos State. He can move into any facility. If he sees,
Is it the state controller that moved
yes,
him?
he's the state controller, sir.
Good. I hope you have cameras around the premises, CCTV, around the premises of the prisons, the correctional facility.
Sir, medium. Yeah, no.
You don't have cameras.
In medium, we don't have.
Excuse me. Do you have cameras in the maximum?
In maximum, we have. In medium, we don't have.
Can you tender cameras from when he came into the maximum and also when he left the
So I'm not the
maximum?
officer in charge maximum.
No, the question is a general question because they are listening, because we want your leadership to give us a footage of the CCTV of when Bobrisky came into the maximum and when he left the maximum. Secondly, like you have tendered the visitors row book.
Yes, sir.
How they visited him in the medium. We also want to have the visitors, I hope you came with it, how he was visited, visitors register, how he was visited when he was in the maximum.
Sir, with all due respect, the officer in charge maximum is here. I think he can.
Yeah, he's coming on board. Yes. So I'm done.
It is very, very obvious that you treated Bobrisky as a high-profile inmate, not so. The question I want to ask you, you have told us here.
Sorry, sir. You asked me a question, but you answered it.
No, I'm not done. Okay. Please, I still have the floor. You told us that Bobrisky has a very special feature, not so,
yes,
that
sir.
he developed a breast, or he has breast, not so.
And hips as well.
And hips,
Yes.
no problem. So did you, when you were entering his details, was he classified as a woman? Yes or no?
Sir, we don't have right.
No. Was he classified?
No.
Wait, hold on.
I will not answer that.
Was he classified?
He's a male.
He's a
Classified
male.
as male.
So what was their business telling us that because he has breast, he has nyash, that his case has to be treated in a different way? That's number 2 question.
Can I answer
Number 3
that?
question. Let me finish, please. Number 3 question. He also did say, he did mention to us that they were bringing his food from outside. Correct? He was not eating the prison food, not so.
If you are interned, yes. This food was coming from us.
Okay. Is it allowed by law?
Yes, sir.
What if they had poisoned the food and he dies in your custody? What would have happened?
We have our rules.
Okay. Thank you very much. That's all I have for now.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Please, can you show us that paperwork right now?
Give me.
Why you are looking for that, sir?
Oh, we have admission record. Give me the admission.
Sir, is it the tradition that an inmate in custody can actually make donations while they are in custody?
Thank you, sir. That was the wrongler had to intervene. The
No,
donation
sir.
was made by
Is it? My question is it
the donation was made.
Sir, hold on, please. Is it yes or no? Is it the tradition that an inmate in custody can make donations while they are in custody?
No.
All right. So then going to my other question. Are you listening, sir?
I'm with you, sir.
Okay. So do you have the discharge letter? Usually when you are moving an inmate from a medium security post to a maximum, I want to believe there's usually a discharge letter. Is that correct?
It's available.
You have that?
Yes, this is the file we call transfer of prisoners. If you look at pages...
Sir, do you have it?
It's here, sir.
Okay,
And I submitted
Mr.
it.
Chairman, I have requested for 2 documents. The first one is the paperwork the day he was admitted, and the second one is a discharge letter the day he was moved from that medium security, and you have an admittance letter when you took him to the maximum.
I have all that, sir.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I'm requesting for that as well to the correctional facility. Now, I asked before, you said no, it's not a tradition, but yet you received it and you accepted it.
Sir, I want to tell you, I told
And
you...
you wrote, hold on, sir. The chairs even came with his name imprinted on them,
I
correct?
was not the one that received it, sir. I told you that I traveled.
Sir, you are representing your institution.
Yes, but I will tell you...
Sir, are you representing your institution? You are oath, sir. Be careful.
I know.
So if you are on oath, be
But if you
careful
took
what
my
you
statement, you
say.
remember that I said I went for exam on the 21st. After 21st visit, it was there that I was told that these chairs came and it cost...
Sir, are you speaking on your personal capacity or you are speaking on behalf of your institution?
I'm speaking in my personal capacity as the...
So who is going to speak on behalf of your institution, sir? I hope you know why you are here.
Sorry, sir. My controller is here.
Okay. All right. So, well, let me finish the questions. Mr. Chairman,
my colleague here has spoken about how when someone is moved, this is what is done. But that is him assuming he knows your procedure. So can you, as a deputy controller general, outline...
Deputy controllers are not correct, general.
Deputy controller, can you outline your procedures and steps when you are moving an inmate?
Okay, sir.
That's on one hand. Then, on the other hand, sir, you said in your statement that you, after inspecting the inmate, you were conflicted whether a man or woman. So you moved him, you separated him. Those were your words. So you separated him. Was it in that same facility? Did you put him in a separate room, or do you have rooms for people where you're not sure what they are? Okay, so if you can answer that question for me,
two questions.
If you can answer that question for me, sir, and then also explain to me the process of detailed process of
issues from the state controller, the command controller. He will give his authorization in writing. And when you receive the authorization, you write your own transfer letter to the next facility where the inmate is going. There is 2 forms that we complete that will accompany the letter, Forms 5 and Forms 5A. Those 2 forms, you send it to state controller to sign it. When the state controller signs that Form 5 and 5A, you come to your facility and keep the Form 5 as the evidence of the movement, and use the Form 5A and your letter to carry the inmate to the next facility. When you get to the next facility, there's what we call body receipt. Body receipt will be issued to you by the records officer in that facility to accept that they received this particular inmate. All those documents, I submitted them, sir. Thank you, sir. The documents are attached to the annexes that I submitted to the House. Okay. The operational manual is not there. We can submit that one later.
It's okay.
Had a meeting, emergency meeting. Can you furnish us with the minutes of that meeting, the people that attended that meeting and how the resolution was taken in line with the procedure of Correctional Act. We want the minutes of that meeting, those that participated in that meeting, and the resolution that informed that decision. That is one. Secondly, you may mention that you move into B ward room 2.
Yes, sir.
What are the facilities in that B one? B
Is B what, sir? B?
Thank you.
A board. And that board is called admission board. The admission board is charged by the officer in charge. The members of the admission board include the record officer, the in charge welfare, the in charge medical, and the caterer. Most other ad hoc members may be the in charge industry or workshop, as the case may be. So during that period, we may not have a detailed minutes of meeting where we decided it has to be this. We have to talk to each other. I am the officer in charge of the facility and still remain the officer in charge. So I won't be there. Like the Igbo say that nobody, elders should not be at home and the goat will give birth while it's tied on a rope. I will not be there because I want to please the public. I break the law of the land. During admission, there's what we call classification of inmates. During classification, you classify by offense, you classify by sex or gender, you classify by age, you classify by inherent health challenges, and some other factors that we consider. Now, in the case of Idris Okune Olarewaju, it was peculiar. And we have to take a peculiar decision to attack a peculiar situation. And the decision we took was, this is a block of cell of small rooms. Everybody in his own room, each of those rooms have a toilet inside of it. So, which means he can stay there. Additional measures that I took is that I posted a staff to be standby on that particular place. Each time, if we bring our duty roster, you see it. We moved the staff who was there for the whole 10 days that Bob spent in medium.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'm still speaking.
No is the answer, ma'am.
Thank you.
Conviction.
Sorry, sir, we admit people with what they call comes up. Whatever is in the warrant is what we admit. We don't add, we don't remove.
What was on the warrant?
Male. Yes, sir.
And so the issue is clear. And so we are within the box that he is male. Nigeria does not, there is no law in Nigeria that recognizes transgender. All these things you're talking about, anyway, I'll leave it to the chairman for the ruling. But the issue is that there is no law in Nigeria today that talks about a transgender. So you are male or you are female. And the conviction, the sentence you had, will always show those details, that ABC is convicted, he's male, and then you take the person to the precise place it should be. So anyway, I'm sure we'll have better questions to ask your superior.
You see, sir, let me put the record straight. Basically, we are here mainly because of you and the EFCC. Because whatever happens to EFCC and prisons, Nigeria will be bleeding. I can tell you that. And your oaths, whatever you tell us here, and let the public know, this committee is not taking side. We will do justice, and that is why we are here. So don't misunderstand us. We won't take side. We are going to do justice. I want to ask you something, sir. Are you under suspension?
No letter was given to me to that effect.
Are you under suspension?
There was a press release in a national daily and news that I and my colleague in Maximum and some others had been suspended.
Were you given reasons for your suspension?
No reason was given, sir.
No reason. So they just serve you a letter and tell you to go home.
They didn't serve me a letter, sir.
Are you on suspension? You said yes.
It's social media suspension. I didn't. If I have the letter. Hello, sir. Sorry. It's just a press statement. If I have the letter.
Order.
I'm a law. Hello, sir. If I have the letter, I'm a law-abiding citizen of Nigeria. If I have the letter, I will not appear here on uniform.
You see, White House, please. I would like you to help us. You are here to give us evidence. We are here to discuss with you and investigate this matter. What we think that you might have done wrong might also be wrong in the eyes of the law. So we need you to speak the truth to us. Finally, are you on suspension?
The suspension was a press release. I am not under suspension.
Order, please.
I'm not under suspension, sir.
Please. I think, Tim, we will get to the issue of suspension. Because we also have a press release here suspending about 3 or 4 of the officers, signed by the Secretary of Civil Defense, Correction, Fire, Immigration Board, Jafaru Ahmed. I think that's the man that signed it. I think he's here too. Is the secretary here? We'll get to the issue of suspension and know the reason why they were suspended, and also look at the laws and the procedure and all that for suspension. So you may wish to submit the documents you have.
You say after me, sir.
I, SCG, Controller General of Correction, Chairman EFCC, very senior officers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ben Rabbi Friedman, Assistant Controller General of Corrections, in charge of Zone A. Zone A covers Lagos State and Ogun State. I was the Controller of Correction, in fact, the immediate past Controller of Corrections in charge of Lagos State. Mr. Chairman, I have a 20 years cognate experience, Controller of Correction in 3 commands, and I've headed 8 custodial centers and facilities across the country. On the 12th of April, 2024, at about 15:30 hours, I got a call from the Deputy Controller of Correction in charge of Ikoyi Medium Security Custodial Center that Idris Okuneye Olariwaju, popularly known as Bobrisky, have been sentenced at Federal High Court, Ikoyi, and that they were on their way to Ikoyi Custodial Center with a large crowd. The crowd of fans at the court premises followed them to Ikoyi Custodial Center. And it was such that the facility, Ikoyi being in the center of the town, sandwiched by urbanization, the traffic jam, the gridlock within that Ikoyi axis got up to Falomo, and inmates that were returning from court could not have access to our facility. On the strength of that, pursuant to Rule 163, Sub F of the Nigerian Correctional Service Standing Order, I authorize in writing a letter backed by a warrant. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to report that movement of an inmate from one facility to the other must carry a warrant, a valid warrant. That warrant is called Form 5 and 5A. Transferring him to medium security custodial center, Kirikiri, that same 12, for operational and security reasons, because Iko is very congested and there were a lot of concern for the security implications. I'd like to confirm to this honorable committee that on the 12th he was moved to Kirikiri medium. That same 12, he spent about 3-4 hours in Ikoyi. He got to Kirikiri and he was admitted. He stayed in Kirikiri medium for barely 10 days. And I had to move him, I had cost to move him out of Kirikiri medium to Kirikiri maximum, exercising my powers as provided in our rules. Because the Controller General of Correction transmitted a call to me that there was a trending video on social media that Bobrisky donated some plastic chairs to our facility. And he asked me to find out, address the matter, and report back to him. On the strength of that directive, very firm directive, I rushed down to Kirikiri medium. And I confirmed that 21 plastic chairs were donated to the facility. On further inquiry, it was confirmed that those chairs were donated by relations of Bobrisky. Granted, the officer in charge, who is a deputy controller, got permission for me to travel to write an exam at Ijebu that morning. So I entered the yard and I did two things. Firstly, I ordered that those chairs be removed from the visiting hall outside the premises where visitors are processed, and they should be taken out of circulation. Secondly, I had to go to the cell to see Bobrisky, and I told him that we will not accept any donation from his family or friends or himself to our facility henceforth, because it may create a very faulty impression about the reputation and integrity of the correctional service. Secondly, I effected his transfer. I ordered his immediate transfer from medium to maximum.
How was he transferred? Did you carry him in your private vehicle to the maximum, or did you not?
I followed them to maximum. The vehicle we use in transferring, because of the urgency.
Where was he? Was he in your vehicle, or was he in the official vehicle of your district?
He was in my official vehicle, the operational Hilux, because courts were in session and the other operational vehicles, because of the seriousness of the matter, I had to, the courts the inmates have gone to court with other vehicles.
Is it official vehicle or your private vehicle?
Operational vehicle. I have a flag car, the staff car with the flag, but I went to that facility since it was operational with an operational Hilux, official operational Hilux. I ordered the staff officer in Kirikiri medium. Normally, if you are transferring an inmate with a letter and the transfer warrant, there must be an escort. All the proper documentation were done for him to be transferred, the gate, the record office, and everything that has to do with his transfer, is available.
He has been tendered. Have you submitted those things?
It's been tendered. It's been tendered.
Okay.
It's been tendered. So on the 22nd, we moved under my supervision because the Controller General was monitoring the development. We had to move him to maximum. He stayed in maximum from 22nd of April to the 5th of August, when he was discharged from lawful custody upon expiration of his prison term. And with profound respect, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to clarify the issue of keeping Bobrisky in a single cell. Bobrisky stayed in P Ward. P Ward has a capacity of 240. 240. He stayed in room 2. There are many single cells in that place. and it's the standard practice in the correctional service to classify it. We saw in Bobrisky a special case, special in the sense that he's a transgender, and allow him to stay in the general cell with other inmates could create a bigger problem. Firstly, he could be bullied, he could be violated, and it would be a major problem for us. And it's important to tell this committee that Bobrisky was not the only person staying in single cell. There are many inmates staying in single cell. We have a very important case we manage again. The same week Bobrisky came to Kirikiri Medium, we admitted, I have the warrant here, we admitted another inmate from a certain part of the country, a trailer driver, and he is a hermaphrodite. Our men in Kirikiri Medium were very dutiful and professional, and they were able to search, and they detected that he's a hermaphrodite. He had the male organ, and he had the female organ. That inmate stayed in Kirikiri Medium from April to September. He just discharged from our facility. A trailer driver, and the charge is for stealing. He appeared before a magistrate court and they remanded him. And the deputy controller in charge did a professional job alongside his team, and they kept that inmate in a single cell. We kept the inmate in a single cell, because if we don't do that, there is classification of inmates in every facility. And the inmate is, the same inmate could not, an indigent inmate, you could not get a lawyer. The deputy controller in charge, Medium Security Custodial Center, would firm approval for me, got a legal representative to help that indigent inmate and approach the magistrate. He personally went to court to see the magistrate until the inmate was discharged from the facility. This is the letter he wrote and the warrant of that inmate, who is a hermaphrodite. The chairman, we never took Bobrisky out of our facility. We never took Bobrisky out of our facility from the 12th of April to the 5th of August. In fact, even when there was a need for medical attention, because I got very firm instruction from the Controller General that we should do our work professionally because of the reputation of the service. At a point, there was a need for reference. By our regulations, only the controller can give approval for an inmate to be taken, giving referral to another hospital. But I never gave any approval for Bobrisky, even to get medical assistance outside. We have a clinic in Maximum, our doctors there and a medical team managed him until he left. He never left the facility. I say on oath, he served in a facility.
Were you suspended too?
I'm not suspended. I'm not under suspension, Mr. Chairman.
Not even with the press release?
No, I'm not.
It didn't affect you?
No, it didn't affect me. I supervise it.
Okay, members, we have had him.
Information today from one of my officers in charge of the facilities that there's a trending story, because it's important we begin to address this thing, going forward. There's a trending story of a high-profile inmate that was moved from a particular state in this country to our facility, and that there's another trending story that inmate was taken from our facility in a particular state to an apartment close to the prison. And as the story is gaining traction, it may come to you very soon and to this honorable committee. So we do our work professionally, because the service have zero tolerance for all forms of unprofessional conduct, unethical conduct. And no staff to manage an inmate in custody, so many hands are involved. An officer in charge of a facility cannot take an inmate out of the cell, out of the yard.
This one you are talking about now is not why we are here. So let us deal with this one.
Principal, the Controller General of Correction, was on me monitoring that development. And I consulted with him. He gave me approval to transfer him. It may test you. Kirikiri Medium and Maximum is within the same range. It's barely 200 meters from Kirikiri Medium to Maximum. So the officer in charge was not on ground. He traveled with my express permission, and I was the command controller then. And once a now I'm an ECD.
Sir, the urgency. The other officer says for security reasons. You came, you said the urgency. Can you explain to this honorable committee? Define this urgency for us.
The urgency, with respect, Mr. Chair, the urgency is that there's a trending story on social media that have attracted the attention of the Controller General. And he has asked me to address that matter. So I had to effect the transfer, and the staff from
the trending, okay. So the trending story was about the chairs.
The trending story was about the chairs
that were donated.
That were donated by his relations or friends who came the previous day, and the chairs in the visitors' room were not enough.
Okay. So now, whenever an officer on duty has to go for another course, is there nobody that usually takes over from him? Like an assistant?
No, there is. There's no vacuum.
So in this case, why did it have to be you to come in and move Bobrisky with your official operational vehicle?
It has to be me because I got directives from my Controller General. And
in your own assessment, sir, you are an officer.
Yes.
Was there a particular threat at that moment that would have led to the breakdown of law and order? Or people coming in to break into your facility? Because you have still not defined the urgency for us. We want to know because your vehicles moved other inmates to court. You had to rush down there. On your way to that facility, did you meet some group of people trying to vandalize your facility? Because we are trying to understand this urgency, sir. No, just go ahead, sir. You want to tell us?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
The provision of a standing order allows the controller, Rule 163F, allows the controller to move any inmate for security and administrative reasons. In this circumstance, the Controller General called me. I got the information about those chairs.
Okay, let's move to another question. So when you came, those chairs that were donated, were they moved out of the facility immediately, or those chairs were still there?
They were moved immediately. First, I told you I took two actions, two equally important actions. Firstly, I went in company of my PRO and some deputy controllers. I ordered that those chairs be removed from the visiting hall because it was becoming an embarrassment to the service.
Were they donated to the orphans, or you have kept them somewhere to be used on a separate day?
No, I didn't donate them to. I didn't donate them to the orphan. I asked them to remove. I gave the instruction and they complied. To the best of my knowledge, those chairs were moved out of the facility. They were moved out of that place. And the deputy controller can confirm that.
Where are the chairs? Where are the chairs now? Where are the chairs?
I can't. Mr. Chair, I gave, as a command controller then,
yes,
I gave directives. And
when you gave instruction for those chairs to be moved, to who?
They moved out those chairs because when I entered, they moved the chairs out of the facility.
To where?
Well, those chairs were an embarrassment to us.
Yeah, to where? Did you ask them to just throw them under the bridge?
I asked them to move those chairs. I didn't confiscate to collect.
So you have not found out if they are still in your facility?
I asked them to take those chairs out of the facility. The building.
So will you be surprised if I show you pictures now that those chairs are still in your facilities?
I'll be surprised.
You'll be surprised.
I'll be surprised.
So check. We will leave that Chairman Ayeba.
That backed us as a nation. The 1999 Constitution as amended. Some of these, your findings, whether transgender or whatever other case, is not recognized by our constitution. These are your special discovery in the area of your field that you are managing professionally. I want this to be laid to rest before it to be, attached to all of us seated here today. That is, by the way, we've come on oversight to those correctional facilities. And personally, I can attest to it. Even while we are speaking here, some will be thinking maybe the medium, Kirikiri prison, and the maximum is something that have distance. It's just a stone throw. We walked there. We walked from the medium down to the maximum, to the women, from female, we went to the maximum. It's just something workable. It's not something very far away. And we saw some of these cells by ourselves. The only thing I was keen about, that I was listening carefully for me to hear, is if this Mr. Okune was actually taken off the facilities totally. But you have cleared it. So I needed to say this so some of our colleagues could understand that we were there. And I saw it for myself. I've seen something different. I will say, we saw some high-profile people, high-profile convicted inmates there. We requested for them. We saw them. These were some of the inmates they told us that they are not in custody. But we saw them. I won't mention their name for obvious reasons. And then some of these things that are being said are also of high security intel. It's because we are following the directive of Mr. Chairman. Some of these things will have been better in an executive section so that we can hit them one after the other. But be as it may, there are some other issues really to be looked into. You see, we have one of the officers that came on board. A question was thrown to him. Are you suspended or you are not suspended? The question was not well answered. These are some things that you yourself, as someone who is heading that region, should clarify as well. So we want to know, was there disciplinary measures put in place as a result of this trending issue we are investigating now? Is something that can come from a preview before even the Controller General could now make an attestment to it. So we need you to clarify that, what you are doing regarding this video. The other aspect, I will hold on until the EFCC people comes on board. But so far, so good. You have clarified some of the issues. But on that aspect, we need you to clear it as well.
I can confirm that there's a press release from our board suspending 4 officers, including the 2 that are heading Kirikiri Medium and Maximum. But as I speak now, they are yet to be served with a formal official letter about the suspension. That's why they are still in full uniform. Because of the allegations of corruption in respect of Bobrisky.
Who is the man in charge of Maximum?
It's around.
Have we taken you? Okay, let's conclude with you so that we can take you.
With profound respect, Mr. Chairman and Co-Chairman, I'd like to reiterate the fact that we did our job to the best of our ability. And Bobrisky had been in our custody from the 12th of April to the 5th of August when he was properly discharged. In both medium and maximum facility Kirikiri, we have impeccable records of all the management, including visitors, warrant, the biometrics of Bobrisky is in maximum, is in medium, and is in Ikoyi. Those documents are before the committee. We brought backs of them much earlier. And I thought they've shared it to members of the committee.
Are you telling us on oath now that you did not collect any money to effect that transfer, that urgent transfer you did with your official car?
Mr. Chairman, for logistic challenge, I'd like to inform this honorable committee. I've had cause severally to use my official operational car for court duties. At times, I detailed the vehicle from Ikoyi when I was controller, from Alagon Close, to go to Ikoyi to assist them because of the challenge of acute shortage of vehicles. So it was not out of place for me to, and given the fact that it was next door, to move to the place. Because if I didn't do that, the Controller General would have sanctioned me. Because he asked me to address this matter. Let's stop seeing this story that was trending.
It's okay. It's okay. Let's.
Adekunle took over the Maximum Custodial Center on the 9th of June 2024 on transfer from male prison Ondo Shegede. I'm not the one that received Bobrisky Idris Okuneye on transfer from Medium. It was received by a retired DCC whom I took over from, though he's alive. And I managed Idris Okuneye under my watch from the 9th of June till 5th of August, when I discharged him accordingly. The discharge warrant, the discharge certificate is here, submitted. The original warrant is here, submitted as well. And I took pain to gather all the visit pass right away from the month of April, May, June, and July, because the record were intact. All these documents were submitted, sir.
Or steps out here and says they have not been personally served, and so they are still in uniform. Is that how is that how it works there?
Sir, this is a regimental service. If you are not very cautionary of the word you use, one might still be dealt with on it. Honestly, it is like everybody had on paper, on here, that myself and my colleague from Medium were suspended. But up to today, there is no letter to the effect.
Have you taken steps to verify if you're still in service or suspended from service as a dutiful officer?
As a dutiful officer, if somebody is on suspension that is heading such a custodial institution with immediate effect, there will be somebody to replace him. So far, there's nobody is there to take over from me. I should maintain the ground for the safety of the country.
So kindly confirm that the suspension was a farce.
Not yet reversed, but as it's on paper, I hope.
No, are you confirming that? Okay, I'll change my word now. Are you confirming to this parliament that the suspension was fake?
As the name implies, my name is Haliru Nababa, MFR MNI. As the name implies, my name is Haliru Nababa, MFR MNI, the Controller General of Nigeria Correctional Service. The presentation being made by the Controller of Corrections in Lagos State that Bobrisky has served his sentence is actually true. There is no time that Bobrisky spent a single day outside. On the second issue of suspension, the officers concerned were duly suspended by the board to pave way for investigation. That is where we are now. And the letters will come today because it was on Friday. The letters will come today from the board. That's all.
And also tender it to us. When he arrived the facility and when he was discharged. Take note of that.
BGI TV yìí mo fẹ́ máa wò, ọ̀rọ̀ tó jẹ ti ń gbèsè mo fẹ́ gbọ́, ètò lóríṣiríṣi wọ́n wà lọ́lọ́kan òjọ̀kan, ìròyìn tó kojú òṣùwọ̀n àtàwọn ọ̀rọ̀ àgbọ́ fi kọ́gbọ́n, eré wọlé fún tẹ̀rù tọmọ tèwe tàgbà ẹ má fi para. BGI TV yìí mo fẹ́ máa wò, ọ̀rọ̀ tó jẹ ti ń gbèsè mo fẹ́ gbọ́ ètò lóríṣiríṣi wọ́n wà lọ́wọ́ lọ́kàn òjọ̀gbọ́n ìròyìn tó kojú òṣùwọ̀n àtàwọn ọ̀rọ̀ àgbọ́ fi kọ́gbọ́n eré wọlé fún tẹ̀rù tọmọ tèwe tàgbà ẹ má fi para àdànà kó kọjá mọ́rí nǹkan fèrè bàbá rìnrìn káwí parí BGI TV we are the pace setter. Bàbá gbàgede ìmọ̀ tẹlifíṣọ̀n station tí dòde.